What's up, crypto fam? Welcome back to another episode, and today I'm going to be going through Lemochain. Lemochain is allowing businesses to access this infrastructure of data, and they're effectively allowing them to monetize all of the data that they have at their business. They're creating a network of businesses that are willing to open up some of their data and exchange it with other businesses. They're doing a good comparison of the data is essentially the next oil. You need to mine it, you need to find it, you need to explore all these different ways of reaching more data just to grow your business. Super interesting project. I wanted to dive into just an overview of not only their website, but just kind of the mission behind it, because I love business to business chains. I think that it is a very important kind of level to where we're going with private blockchains, with open blockchains. I just think that having businesses using blockchain is a big deal, and I wanted to go over this with you guys, so let's dive right in. Very similar to most websites in pre-sale, a substantial amount of participants, over 12,000 at the time of filming this, which is pretty impressive. And the big bold statement up front: decentralized business data circulation infrastructure, unlocking your valuable business data with the power of Lemochain. So let's watch the video.
What do businesses need to grow today? Data. Data is so important. It's considered the new oil. The problem is not the lack of data, but like oil, being to locate and extract relevant data that is critical to the success of a particular organization. Many times when companies require intel, they need to navigate centralized data silos, which takes time, resources, and money. There used to be no easy way for businesses to interlink their valuable data cost-effectively. There was, until Lemochain. Lemochain provides an easily accessible infrastructure for existing businesses, allowing them to unlock their valuable data, connecting silos and data banks, and helping them to improve their end service, whilst profiting from selling their own data. Let's take Jim, for example. He's been dreaming of meeting his ideal girl for years, so he's tried a number of dating apps, but none of them quite seem to cut it. On the flip side, Jane has the same problem. But what if their dating apps could be interlinked, saving them time and heartache? That's the concept of Lemochain. Through buying and selling structured user data, organizations can break data barriers and connect with each other. And as more companies become part of Lemochain, they gain even greater access to more targeted information quickly, with the potential to sell their own data. Become a part of the chain of information. Join Lemochain today.
Jumping onto the timeline, you can see that Lemo was founded in Q4 of 2016, so a little over a year and a half ago they were founded. And we can go through and fast forward till now. In June of 2018, it looks like they're releasing their beta version of the test chain, and they're releasing data transaction platform and wallet application based on the test network, education distribution DApp of data. Okay, so it looks like they're partnering with or collaborating with a company, and that's quite exciting to see that they're doing a partnership while they launch. And they have some dApps that they're actually launching on the testnet when they come out in this month, I believe. The mainstream education platform of China has partnered with Lemochain, and they're actually going to cover millions of users once it goes online, which is super exciting. It's an online educational application based on Lemochain, and it's going to be launched to, looks like, secure, accessible education resources distribution services for hundreds of educational institutions. Very cool. So they're partnering with some education management platforms in China, which is very cool. And it looks like China Panda Driver is open to a new smart chapter of smart contract transportation services available to Panda drivers, 8 million current users. So a lot of partnerships. They're coming out with multiple big, heavy-hitting partnerships in China, which I like the fact of a collaborative launch. I think that that's almost like a hack of how to get a bunch of users quickly. So they go through a quick scenario here of how data distribution is going to be used. And as you can see, user data is submitted onto Lemochain whilst remaining encrypted throughout the circulation. Education institutions submit encrypted data, individual students' learning requirements. These individual students who stated they need to study further English, math, sports, etc., are then matched with the corresponding data purchasing institutions. This creates a fluid student circulation, improving student learning and lowering student acquisition costs for schools. So basically allowing schools to attract better students or more qualified students. Very cool. Recruitment, headhunters. So these are really impressive scenarios, 3 great use cases. The one that I enjoy the most, as you guys know, I'm really passionate about education. That's why I'm reviewing this in the first place, is because I really think that education is broken and fragmented way too much, and something like blockchain in general can definitely help. I think Lemochain is a great aspect for the business side, so it's allowing institutions to reach out to potential applicants or students and helping cater their educational needs, and attracting more high qualified students at acquisition costs for schools. Wanted to quickly touch on the team here. The team has a background in various different types of social apps, primarily in the dating space. So they definitely know how much data is important to dating as a whole. And personally, having met my wife on Match.com, I think that dating online is the future by far. It's the gold standard here in Silicon Valley. And just the idea that these dating apps are going to be able to more effectively cater to people, help them find better matches and stuff like that. I think that these guys are definitely taking that niche by storm. They're partnering with, as you saw before, quite a few large, partnerships in China that are going to help them take off running with data partnerships between businesses. But I do think that the dating app, where these guys have a lot of experience, is going to be really good as a starting point for them, in addition to the partnerships where they're getting access to all these different types of partnerships, like the Panda Driver one in China. That's a big instant user acquisition for them. So I'm excited to see where they take with the dating side of. I always briefly like to touch on some of the distribution of funds and tokens when it comes to the timeline of these guys, like what stage they're in. And right now, they did a successful pre-sale and they're doing an offering, I believe. And it looks like the token distribution is quite healthy. I like that, as I said in many previous videos, at least 40% to development is a good signal. That means that they're focusing on the right aspect of this. This is a tech play. I always emphasize that when it comes to projects. You are a tech business, so you need to really double, if not triple down on development. And these guys have, with almost half of the funds are going to be dedicated to building it out. They have legal, 5%. I've seen that more of a trend recently. People are increasing their legal reserves. And it looks like 25% to marketing and 20% to security. So this is a new one. A lot of people have said that over the past couple of months that your blockchain is only as good as its security, which I do agree with. Just given, I have my own project, as you guys are aware of, that security is going to be a make or break with a lot of these companies. Diving into their white paper, I went through the entire white paper. It seems extremely legitimate because they lay out not only their vision, their executive summary, but the pieces that stakeholders play in the ecosystem. So I wanted to just briefly touch on this. You have your users that enter via the dApps. You have your developers / carriers that enter through the Lemo API that are coming from businesses. You have your storage nodes, which is pretty important here. Storage nodes enter into the ecosystem by contributing their own storage space and computing power. So if you guys are familiar with running full nodes on your computer, or master nodes with Dash, that's what they're talking about, allowing them to use some storage on your computer in exchange for tokens. Investors, can acquire early ownership in Lemo token in the pre-sale stage. That makes sense. Opinion leaders. Every 12 months, Lemo Foundation will nominate candidates of opinion leaders through comprehensive evaluation based on annual community contribution. So people that contribute a lot and they actually have a voice in the community, basically influencers within their ecosystem. Also, in the white paper, they go through the different stages or elements of a smart contract and actually how they are supporting it. So their contracts support Java, C, C++, and Python. They'll go through the different kind of parts to registration of a contract. So they give a nice walkthrough of how the contracts work. And this is pretty fascinating to me because I haven't really seen this laid out in many white papers. A lot of people just sort of say the term, yeah, we have smart contracts. And this is a nice simplified way of saying how they work. The different executions, cancellations, and registration of the contracts is pretty valuable knowledge. And I'm going to put a link to this below so you guys can check this white paper out as well. And I'd love to know your opinion in the comments, what you guys think about the white paper. That's it for my overview of Lemochain. I love the concept of businesses working together to help something grow. I'd love to do a follow-up video on this, and I'll let you guys know, and I'll keep you updated on the community tab. If you guys haven't been following along in the community tab, it's like a new way of doing polls and sharing GIFs and stuff like that, but I've been doing a lot of polls there recently, so go check that out. I'm gonna put the links for the description below. They are doing a pre-sale currently, so you guys can check that out also if you want. And I'm gonna link to the white paper. So for all of my fellow tech nerds out there that are interested in reading the specs on their network, it is pretty impressive as I showed in my overview, but that's it. I will talk to you guys on the next episode of Hackdroid Crypto, and don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you next time.